Hi, my name's Alex. I'm currently redoing my room, and today's video is about photography. All the images and items that I'm going to be talking about, I'll either put in the description below or I will give credit to those below. So we're going to talk today about certain tips to help you get that pro level look when it comes to automotive photography. We have some great photographers here in Wisconsin like Brandon Doyster, Jacob Gordy. We used to have Dakota Stone. We have some great photographers here that really can capture photos of cars in ways that not a lot of people can. And that leaves a ton of people asking questions, what sort of lenses do you use? What sort of cameras do you use? So today we're going to give you 5 tips on how to achieve professional photography style photos even if you're an amateur. So we're going to start with number 1. And number 1 is using a CPL filter. A CPL filter is a circular polarizer that you put at the end of your lens. These are usually adjustable and it filters the amount of highlights that can come through your lens. It gives you more detail in your shadows and your blacks, and it helps give you more accurate saturation. CPL filters are absolutely awesome for automotive photography, anything that has a high contrast sort of photo. So it allows you to adjust the highlights that's actually hitting the car, helps give you more control over how the light is reflective off certain body panels or parts. That gives you more freedom to get the image that you want. And a lot of these things can be taken straight from the camera, straight to Facebook, straight to Flickr, because the CPL filter does so much right when you shoot that a lot of times people find they spend less time simply editing photos once they get a CPL filter just because it allows them to do so much more. Hold on, I'm gonna find mine.
2 hours later. A few moments later.
Okay guys, so this is what I have. I have a B&W HTC Caseman circular polarizer with multi-resistant nano coating. And that is a lot. I will link that below so that you know exactly which one I'm talking about. But I got this off Amazon, and this is what they look like. It's gonna get all blurry, I know. But what the greatest thing is it allows you can actually twist it, and that allows you to adjust your highlights. So this is something that I have for my 24x70. And I pretty much keep it with me absolutely everywhere I go. Tip number 2, lighting. And lighting is everything. So when I talk about how lighting is everything, I mean that you really want to be able to control the amount of lighting. You want to control the environment. You don't want to let the environment control you. You are going to find yourself taking photos a lot of times at car shows, which is great. That's not going to work out very well. And you're not really going to get the shots that you want because you don't have control over the environment. But if you don't know how to control your lighting, then your photos go from bad to worse. It is better to have a mediocre photo with amazing lighting because that's going to get you a great shot than an amazing photo with shit lighting, and that's going to give you a mediocre overall result. So you want to make sure that you have control over that, and how you can control that is how we just talked about. Circular polarizer that will help you, but also making sure that you understand the controls of your camera in terms of aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. Now to branch off of that, you want to make sure that you're exploring new locations to get that environment that you want. You can't be afraid to just shoot in places that you know. If you do just shoot in places that you know, you will limit yourself forever, and I can promise you that, and your photos will never get better. You want your environment to almost bring together your photo just as much as the car that you're shooting does. Bonus tip, if you want to get into more off-camera lighting, definitely invest in some transceivers. That allows you to take your off-camera flash and hook it up to your actual camera and shoot your camera at the same time with an off-camera flash that allows you to get some neat angles. Tip number 3 is all about good glass. I know a lot of people that think that they need to invest in a Canon 5D Mark III or a 7D or a Mark IV or all of these big full frame cameras, when those are great, but a lot of times it just starts with the actual lens. There are a lot of people that I know that shoot with a Canon T2i, the decent lens, that get better photos than those that have brand new 5D Mark IVs. All about how you can control your camera. And that's why good glass is so important. So you might be saying, Alex, I can't afford a new lens. I don't know what to get, and I can't even get it if I want to. That's absolutely fine. A lot of us start in a certain position where we can't just go out and dump $800 on a new lens. If that's the case and you are just starting out, I recommend when you go into editing then that you keep it simple and you keep it clean. A lot of new photographers, especially automotive photographers, they go out there, they get these photos, blast them with actions. And that's not how you want to do it. You don't just want to cover up the photo with as much makeup as you can. You should take your time and go through the image and make sure you're picking apart things like your white lettering on tires, chrome imperfections, your reflections in general, any sort of problems or mistakes or scratches or anything like that, because those are the sort of things that people are really going to notice. If all you do is you plaster some brightly saturated sunset image on top of it, it's just going to look like junk. Don't be that person. My fourth tip is going to be talking about back button focusing. And back button focusing is more of a moderate or advanced technical term for your autofocus system that you have on your DSLR. What you're going to want to do is go out and research how to do back button focusing. But for this case, we're going to keep it very, very simple and very, very fundamental for automotive photography only. This is more for those that really want to get detailed shots of specific aspects of somebody's car. And I'll show you some examples as I'm talking about this. When you're doing back button focusing, you're really controlling what is exactly in focus. You are giving the camera no other option but to focus on what you want to focus. And when you have cameras that have less autofocus points or don't have the same capability as newer cameras do, the more control you have over your camera, the better. So when you're using back button focusing, it may take you a bit longer, but it's going to look much, much better. If you're using back button focusing for, let's say, autocross, which is a great time to be using autofocusing, it allows you to control and maintain an autofocus point while the car is moving, instead of your camera continuously autofocusing whenever you press the trigger down halfway. I will put a couple links below that discuss back button focusing a lot better than I am right now. This is just something to kind of put in your ear so that you can understand it in the future. And the final tip number 5, is going to be called create your own style. I know a lot of people that all they try to do is copy and copy and copy, and they never feel happy with their photos. You have to go out and you have to create your own style. I commend new photographers that go out and do that. Again, I reference Brandon Doister, but he was somebody that found his own style here just in Wisconsin and has really capitalized on that, and a lot of people love his work. We all have our own styles of doing things, and that's what makes photography so great, is that we're able to go out and capture things the way that we want to capture them. You've got to get yourself out there. You've got to get started, and you got to get your ideas from someplace. Make sure that you are going out, you're jumping on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and you're finding people that do this stuff for a living, that make money doing it, and grab your inspiration from those people. Keep thinking with that mindset. You're going to grow as a photographer and as a person, maybe even into a potential business. You never want to knock yourself short of that. Always treat your photography as if it were a business, because if you're always giving it 110%, then you're always going to be pushing yourself to do better. You can use these tips for whatever you'd like, and that's going to be the best thing about it. I really hope that you guys enjoy this. If you guys have any questions or feedback, please let me know below. Otherwise, we're all set to hit up another vlog, but I don't know what to talk about. So you're going to have to let me know, send me a message or just comment, and we'll go from there. I appreciate all the support. We'll see you later. Thanks, guys. I forgot my train of thought.